Hello and welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. It is unboxing time yet again. This is Endurance, a solitaire game of Antarctic survival designed by Amabel Holland. This is from Hollandspiele. And it is not a war game, but it is a solitaire game. Not much on the back cover of this. It says it comes with a 20-plus page rulebook, well, a 20-page rulebook, 2 canvas display sheets, that's interesting, 80 cards, 2 packs, 12 six-sided dice, and 54 counters. So this is based upon Sir Ernest Shackleton's expedition to, well, I guess he was trying to become the first person to cross the Antarctic. And what happened was in that expedition, getting across the Antarctic, the Endurance, the name of the ship was Endurance, became trapped in ice and eventually sank. So these guys were trapped on ice and had to make it back to land. It was a very dangerous, long journey to get back, but they made it. It was quite a feat. There is a movie. This is Shackleton from A&E. I bought this some time ago, 2-disc collection it says, but this is about that expedition. So I highly recommend this. If you're going to play this game, this would be a good movie to watch. It wasn't great. It was kind of dry, but it is a good movie, and it explains pretty much what was going on with Shackleton and shows, of course, the crew trying to survive. And I'll give you one more bonus thing. This is Shackleton. This is a Scotch, and this was interesting. I actually discovered this not long after I watched that movie I just showed you. This is supposedly based on, they actually later in time in looking for remnants, I guess, of this expedition, they came across some bottles of scotch that Shackleton had with him, and they were intact, so they were able to kind of duplicate and recreate what that might have tasted like. This, I don't know how close that would even be, but just thought I would show you this. This is actually a 40% scotch, so it's very light, but as far as scotches go, this is actually, I consider this a pretty good light scotch. So if you're looking for something really light and just something you just want to sip on, neat, of course, you would not want to put ice in this. This is a good scotch. So there's your bonus whiskey recommendation to go along with an unboxing of Endurance. So let's look in here now and see what we get. And I'm going to just open it up like this. We will set the lid up here so we can see it. And I will dig into this. And right on the top here, we see those cards that were mentioned. And I'm going to just pull the plastic off of one of these decks, and we'll take a look in here and see what we've got. Set this aside. We may pull both the decks apart and just take a quick look. Now, I don't know, I haven't read the rule book on this, so I'm not really sure what these symbols mean. We will find out, of course, when we play the game, and I will play this at some point. These cards are very nice quality. They're sort of semi-glossy, but they have that nice plasticky feeling. I will, of course, sleeve these. And I'm just looking, I'm sure those are all resources and probably actions you can take. But like I said, I don't really know. So let's look at the other card deck to see if it's identical to that one. And we'll see what's, aha, so there are definitely different cards in this deck. And again, I don't really know what these mean. There's the Endurance sink. So it looks like there may be some random events perhaps, or some actions that we can take. Malnutrition, intestinal disease, not very good stuff at all. So this will be interesting to see if we can get our crew, see if we can be as successful as Ernest Shackleton was with his crew. So there's the dice, and there are 12 of those. That's nice. Always like to get more dice, even though I have too many. We are down now to the rule book. This is typical for Hollandspiele and Blue Panther, and this was printed by Blue Panther. It is a sort of a semi-glossy text, semi-glossy paper is what I'm trying to say. The text is actually large, which I like to see with my old eyes. That helps. We've got some nice photographs here. I believe there was a photographer with this expedition that took these pictures, so that's probably what we're looking at here. And I'm looking up here because it says, to preserve resources, Shackleton ordered the weakest of the sledge dogs killed, as well as the carpenter's cat, Mrs. Chippy. Now, the interesting thing about it doesn't say it in here, but I know this because I've read this. Interesting thing about Mrs. Chippy is Mrs. Chippy was actually a male cat. It was the carpenter's cat, and The carpenter never forgave Shackleton for having the cat shot when the ship sank. He did not want his cat shot. He wanted the cat to try to come along and escape with the men. Shackleton felt that the cat would not survive and therefore ordered the cat shot. So kind of tragic there for Mrs. Chippy. And just some more, looks like this is all just informational type stuff. So this is definitely good. I like the background information that you get with these types of games. So now we're getting into the full color rules, a good overview. It looks like we have some crew members. They'll explain those cards we just saw, components and setup. Again, the text is really large, so easy to read. I could probably read this without reading glasses, which is always appreciated. And there's some items and so forth. So not a very rules heavy game. Looks like a rules light game. And on the back here, it looks like we see a player's aid type card, or back page, I should say, sort of a reference of what you do. And then next, of course, we have some Blue Panther counters, which are falling out. These are larger counters. They look like 5/8, perhaps, or maybe larger. And I see, I'm going to hold these up so you can see these as well. It looks like there are some crew members. Of course, there were sled dogs, so that perhaps is what we're looking at here with dogs. there's even a Mrs. Chippy there, so hopefully we won't be forced to shoot Mrs. Chippy. Maybe she can actually survive this time. Looks like this is the reverse side, and it's, I'm going to assume that blue might be good, and perhaps red is not so good for the crew member status and Mrs. Chippy there. So nice counters from Blue Panther. And now we are getting down to the bottom of the box. This is the final thing that was in the box, and this is something that is really, really nice, and it is definitely canvas type material. So you get these two nice canvas mats that you can put your counters and your cards on, and that is really, really nice. And I'm going to hold this up so we can see the full thing. There's one of the mats, I should say, and the other mat. So that is it. We have hit bottom on Endurance. Again, this is by Amabel Holland. This is from Hollandspiel. I'm looking forward to trying this one because obviously, as I showed you at the beginning of this video, I had an interest in this expedition, and I think I have one book that I read about this, but like I said, the video is also a nice complement to that book. And even if you just want to watch the video and then play this game, that's going to be enough, I'm sure. Make sure you have some of that scotch when you do it, though. All right, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here next time.